Hello, my name is Eric Brown, and today I'll be showing you my Chromatic Superfriends that I built for Standard.
Alright, let's get started. So what we can start with today, Eric.
Alright, starting out with the creatures, I run Rattleclaw. I tend to run more of a green, white, red base, and the Rattleclaw is a very good mana dork, and he flips for 3, so it's a good, nice turn 2 or turn 3 play if I'm running a little slow. Jace is a very good one to help with the card draw if I'm running a little slow, and when he gets flipped, he helps slow down more aggro decks with his neg. His rebound can really help too, and his alt can help me take out other decks if I'm ending for long game.
Very cool.
Nissa is really nice because it helps go for a land, so if you're missing lands, I can fetch for a basic, and when it is flipped, it can be a card draw, it can spawn tokens, or when you neg it, you can make a field of land creatures. And then moving to the non-creatures, I run Oath of Nissa because it is kind of like an anticipate for a land or planeswalker. It's good turn 1. It allows you to spend mana as if it were any color for planeswalker spells, and makes it so much easier to go chromatic with it. And the Oath of Chandra, when it comes in, it deals damage like a bolt to an opponent's creature, and at the end step, if I had played a planeswalker if I resolved a planeswalker that turn, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. That is usually my main kill engine. Oath of Gideon, when it comes in, he spawns 2 1/1 core ally tokens, and I tend to use them for blockers, and the second part allows planeswalkers to come in with a second loyalty counter, which that helps a lot of planeswalkers get easier to the neg to get the emblem or the alternate piece that they do. And then we have Call the Gatewatch. That really helps in multiple circumstances because it allows me to go for different planeswalkers for whatever the circumstance involves, which is really nice to combo off with the Jace for his neg to play it from the graveyard, or even with Narset with the rebound.
Do you have in the new set Elitist?
But for all the planeswalkers I run the new Nissa because she can spawn plants. She can put 1/1 counters down, and she can make me gain life and draw.
Just one of?
No, you draw X where...
Oh, I meant like one of Nissa.
Oh,
voice.
yes, just a one of Nissa. Because their Planeswalker Uniqueness rule does power against that Nissa too. So I cannot have both of them on board, and I think that one is more potent. I run Narset to help with some card draw, and once in a while it's great to rebound the Call the Gatewatch, and if you can neg Narset, it makes it really nasty, because then your opponents can't cast non-creature spells. I run Sorin because he can give your creatures lifelink until your next turn. He can spawn vampires, and when you neg them, your opponent has to sack a creature on their upkeep. Kiora helps with being able to untap a creature or land, and the creature is really nice because I can use it either for Jace to draw again early, or I can use it for Rattleclaw to untap and make more mana. The neg is good for tutoring for a land. And the alt is a very good powerhouse to take out their field, dropping 3 8/8s, and then they fight. I run Ob Nixilis because he can help a little with the card draw, but he can kill creatures when he comes out. And that's all I've really used him for. And then I use Sarkhan the Unbroken. I favor him over the Sarkhan Dragon Speaker from Khans because he spawns dragons for blockers, and I can get his plus, can give me a mana of any color and a card draw. I have no use of his alt at the end though because I do not run any dragons. I run Chandra. Her plus, spawning the elementals, is good to keep my opponents on the defense from it. Her 0 for the discard your hand and draw +1 is nice if I have a really bad hand and need a refresh. And her neg is really good to do damage to creatures when they come in, deals X. And when it comes in with the Oath of Gideon, it comes in on 5, and a neg 5 just tends to wipe a board. Because there goes that Siege Rhino. And Ugin's just the powerhouse. With the Bull for the +2, and the neg X, and the -10. And with Oath of Gideon, he comes in on 8, so you only have to plus him once before you can neg him out if you need to. For the alt. And then for land base, I run one of each of the man lands to have an alternate use in case I have a turn where I top deck a land later game. I can still have something to do. I also run one of each of the check lands to search for. And then for the fetchies in the lands, I run 3 windsweeps, 3 wooded foothills, and only 2 flooded strands because it is mainly green, white, red, and the rest of it in the 2 floodeds help me fetch for the black and the blue with the checks. And then for basics, I run 1 plains, 1 mountain, 1 island, and 3 forests, and I run the extra forest because I can tutor them with Nissa. In the sideboard, I run 3 Dispels. They're real nice because they're 1-drop counter instant, because if I'm trying to play a Planeswalker and need it to resolve and they go to counter it, it's a nice 1-mana counter to their counter. And then I like to run a 1 of Languish because it helps with creature removals for decks that like to spawn a bunch of stuff and then sack it to a husk and deal damage through, say, a Zulaport Cutthroat. Radiant Flames also helps with that, and the Converge is fairly nice because I am running a multicolor deck, so I can hit 3 on that almost every single time. Roast is really nice because it can help with board removal if there's a bigger creature. Siege Rhino compatibility. Stasis Snare, it's really nice for more creature removal for something that is, say, indestructible. And that is, Utter End is really nice because it can exile any permanent. So if I need to remove, say, an enchantment or an indestructible creature, that works for that as well too.